The other day, we had to pick a little boy up when I was in my school bus, and this little boy didn't want to go to school. He really just wanted to stay with his mother, and he was crying a lot and screaming a lot because he didn't want to go to school. And when he got to the bus, he even tried firing the stairs, and he held so tightly onto his mother. He genuinely didn't want to go to school. But even if he was crying a lot and he was doing all he could to not go to school, he still had to go to school. And he kept crying for 10 to 15 minutes, saying, I want Mimi, which is his mother. And he felt really bad. And you might think that this experience is very normal. Kids don't like going to school, and they're gonna cry when they have to go to school because they don't want to go to school. It's normal, all kids do it, etc. But I want you to be aware of the effect of this experience on the little boy's life because it has such a deeper effect on his life that you might not be aware of. And as a society or as parents, sometimes we tend to ignore that. The first 7 years of a kid's life shape his mindset, shape his behavior, shape his future, shape the way he views life in general. And this means that we have to be really delicate in the way we treat them and everything we say to them and the experiences we offer them or we make them go through as their parents or as the people who take care of them. We need to be very delicate with them because these experiences shape the way they view things. It's like we have a white paper that we're drawing on it, but we have the choice of what we put on this paper, you know? So let's get back to the little kid. He was crying a lot. He didn't want to go to school. He was screaming. He genuinely didn't want to go to school, but he still had to go to school. So it showed him that he has to do something even if he doesn't feel like it. This experience was showing the little boy that he doesn't have freedom to feel, to think, to choose what he does in his own life. You might tell me for a little boy he doesn't need his freedom, but it's like we're planting the seed of, I wouldn't say slavery, but it's kind of slavery in that boy's mind because he was not free. He couldn't choose for himself. He had to do things that he didn't feel like doing, and this little seed was planted in his mind. And this little boy was really trying to not go. He genuinely didn't want to go, but he still had to. And to him, it seems like no matter how bad he wants to stay at home, he couldn't stay at home. So it's like you're planting the seed in his mind, telling him that no matter how bad you want something, you can't have it. That's what we're showing this little boy as a society, as parents. That's what we're planting in his mind. And he was crying. He was really crying and screaming a lot. So I would say it was kind of a traumatic experience for him. And what this means is that when we are in such states, we are very alert. Our minds absorb and remember everything that's happening. We absorb all the details and we remember them. So all these things get absorbed by the subconscious mind of this little boy and stay in his mind. Even if he forgets about it after 2 hours, these beliefs, these emotions, this experience gets stored in his mind. And how will this affect his life now? When you, as a kid, was shown that no matter how much you want something, you can't have it, or no matter how much you don't want to do something, you still have to do it. When you grow up, you're gonna be faced with experiences where you feel the same, where you feel like no matter how much I don't want to do something, I still have to do it. No matter how bad I try to get something, I still can't have it. This is your mindset when you grow up. This is how you think. And you might not be aware of this. Of course, you're not aware of this. You might forget or you might not know that this was because of a traumatic experience that happened in your childhood that led you to have a certain set of beliefs that affects the way you experience life right now. So, with this little simple experience that happened in this little boy's life, he is gonna face so much hardship if he doesn't get to a certain point where he realizes that I have bad beliefs that I need to heal, that I need to change, that I need to fix. But how often will this happen for someone to realize that, oh my god, I have limiting beliefs because of something that happened with me 20 years ago and I need to heal it, I need to work on it, I need to change it. It doesn't happen much. It doesn't happen much. And it really stays in the mind of this little kid. And if you want proof, I was actually resonating with that little boy. He didn't want to go to school, but he still had to go. He really wanted to stay at home, but he couldn't. And he reminded me of an experience, a similar experience that happened in my childhood. Because as a little kid, I didn't want to go to school. I genuinely didn't like to go to school, and I would cry a lot. I would do the same as this little kid. And I often find myself thinking that I really don't want to go to school, but I still have to. So I linked the events together, and I realized that these beliefs are with me since my childhood, and they do stay with us for longer periods of time if we don't choose to change them, if we don't choose to heal them. But I'd like to imagine how the life of this little boy would be if we were a little bit more aware of how things are, if we were a little more aware of how we should treat kids, of how we should handle their emotions, if we were a little aware of you not wanting to do something has meaning. If as a little kid you don't want to go to school, then there is a meaning behind that. I don't want to go further than that, but really think about it. If little kids don't want to go to school, why? Why is that? And why do we force them to go to school? Why do we always show them that no one cares about how you feel and it doesn't matter how you feel, you are not free? These are the seeds we're planting in their minds. And they're seeds that stay for long periods of time. Now, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.